Lisa here, back with another video, and today we're doing something very chill. We're just doing a Bloons TV battle strategy video, and this is my strategy. I am not like number one crazy obsessed player, but I do play a lot. So for those of you who have come for someone who's really good at it, it's not me. Time to go. But first of all, let's just get like our basic tower layout. So normally I always get a sniper, I always get a wizard, and I always get a ninja. I know that late game that the wizard isn't as good, but usually I don't end up going super late game, but I always choose to get the sniper just in case I end up going late game. So in this first game that I'm playing against Big Boss Adamo, this is like a quick 5-minute round. Like I always choose these, and so I know my strategy. I do a lot of practice in like the defense rounds as well to see that I can use these to defend just the normal balloons. But honestly, I don't even know what this person was doing, because I think that like the glue gunner is a really good tower early game as well. Well, once you get it up to like level 3, I think it's a really good tower. So maybe mid game, not early game. But like when they sent me balloons, it was round 5. Like you're not going to be doing much damage, so you should be collecting eco. Like they're not collecting eco, and I think that was their main issue in the first round, because I was just like getting my little eco, because I always aim to have 1,000 by round 20, which is like very far out in the game, I know, but I like to at least have 1,000 by round 20, and then by round 30 I like to have like 3,000 eco, and that's like me not being like a super player, and I usually do pretty well once I reach like my minimum quota of ego, and so I'm always trying to like keep getting my ego up in the first few rounds when they can't send us super tough balloons. But I don't even, the way they weren't getting their eco and they didn't have any farms, I just, we all have our different strategies, and that was theirs. I'm not saying it was great, but I'm not saying it was good either. Finally, in round 12, they put up their first farm, and honestly, it's pretty late, but at least they put up a farm, because I think that they didn't need the engineer that early, because honestly, I hate the engineer tower. Like, I understand, I used to like it like years ago, but I don't like it that much anymore, and I think instead of wasting their money on the engineer, they should have just kept leveling up their wizard and only had like maybe one glue gunner, and then used whatever eco they could get on the farm early game, because I think it would have helped them to start getting some residual money. But we all play differently. But yeah, so basically I think we make it to about like round 20 something, and I am finally starting to develop my own arsenal, because I was being too focused on eco. I'm currently at 824 eco. It's not exactly where I want to be on round 17, but it's enough that I can at least defend whatever he or she or they or them is going to be sending me, probably by round 20. We have reached round 20 and they are struggling. And I think it's because at this point, maybe they just didn't have enough tower levels. Because when you first get balloons, like your towers don't go up that far. Like I think you can have up to level 3 if you're very new. And I think that's what's going on, because the way that they haven't upgraded their towers past like level 2, I'm like, what are you doing? Because these towers cannot do anything into the game if they have not at least been put to level 3. And even the farms, like they got more farms instead of upgrading their farms. And I don't, we're about to sweep it. We're about to win. But it was a good little warm-up game, I guess. All right, let's get our round two tower loadout. And this one is like a 15-minute game, which is a pretty good like duration for a game on Bloons TD, at least for me, because usually it takes a while. And they said late game. I said late game back. Hopefully that means good things are going to be happening. I doubt it because it's still Bloons. And people like to lie, but let's see how this game goes. So we have our typical layout. We have our wizard, we have our sniper, we have our ninja, and then this time we got the tack shooter. I don't love the tack shooter, but the tack shooter comes in handy when I have a lot of big blimps on the screen and I just need some like little tack shooter moments to clear up the balloons that are hiding underneath. So I guess that's fine. The blade storm works decently late game, but it's not the ideal choice for your extra late game tower, you know. Okay, we're finally working on that eco slowly but surely. The way that I am not doing the greatest at eco collection early game right now, but it's fine. We pretend that we don't see it. My system is trying, early on, I try to upgrade my towers to like both of them being maxed to level 2s, and then I collect more and more eco until I think it's absolutely necessary to at least get my wizard up to be a fire. Wow, I don't even know the proper terms. Can you tell I'm not a true gamer? To be able to be like a fire storm, fire shooter, wizard. It's a phoenix. It becomes phoenix in the last round. Anyway, it's terminology, not my thing. I know the basics. But essentially that's kind of my method. But this person, you can see that they at least know to get up their towers early game. So that's how I know that this isn't going to be a really short, like 10, 15 rounds. Like substantial of my time. All right, we're just waiting to upgrade our monkey, and perfect. Now we have our wizard upgraded and it's round 13. So that means I have a little bit of time of smooth sailing with our wizard because it's still very early game. But by round 16, if I don't start getting some towers up, I should start being a little bit more concerned because 2 towers is not going to cut it, especially because they're both not super much, it's not a word. They're both super focused at the beginning of the track, and I need some more coming up later towards the back, because if we don't have anything else after these 2 towers, we're definitely going to lose the game. Round 17, we got some decent eco. Okay, we're like almost at 900, meaning by round 20, we're gonna have our minimum quota of 1,000, which I like to see. As we can see, our opponent is up out here with 2 upgraded farms. Thank you, thank you. They also have a helicopter, which is interesting. I go back and forth on helicopter being a good tower, but they do, of course, they know what they're doing. I think they chose good towers, and that's all we can ask for. But I am still out here with only 2 towers, and I am screaming at myself in post, being like, why do you have 2 towers? Thank you for putting a 3rd tower down on round 19. If this person was more aggressive, they would have killed me by round 16 with a rush, like hands down. Now that we have some decent eco going, we have a little bit over 1,300. So I think that's enough for us to focus on building up these towers. So now we at least have a little bit of like a 3-2 situation. But I think that like we need more towers on screen. But beggars can't be choosers because you're all also begging me to get some towers on the screen. But now I can see that my opponent not only is getting money from their farms, but they're also sending eco at me, meaning they're doubling their chances of more eco. But they still haven't upgraded their farms, which gives me a little bit more of a chance since I have been getting eco since basically like round 3, and hopefully that'll be enough to make the difference between both of us. Okay, now it's time to fill the map. So I obviously am fully upgrading my sniper. I always try to get the full left side sniper originally because that sniper is really good when the blimps come out, and those are really important as soon as we get to like, I believe round 26, round 27 is when the first one comes out, and we need that extra buffer. And having it fully upgraded just helps to slow it down and helps me to be able to upgrade other towers and add more towers to the rest of the screen while I know that that blimp is being taken care of. But as you can see, we have only one full row of the wizard monkey. What I usually try to do with wizard monkeys is, in this particular tower, is I try to fill up this entire center grid with the monkeys. The entire outer grid in the top, I try to fit with the ninjas, and then inside the shapes, I don't know if I end up doing it in this game because we're like almost through with this game, but I try to put in the tack shooter or my extra object, depending on how small it is, inside the shapes, and then I try to fill up the rest of my map with my snipers because, again, snipers are really something that's going to help us through. but don't focus solely on the left side. I early on always focus on the left side, and I always make sure to change the target to be strong, last, and first, because I think those are really good objectives. But I also need you all to know, because this is something that I used to never do, is start mixing up your snipers and adding in a little bit of full right side, because full right side helps with just the loose balloons, whereas full left side helps with like the actual blimps. It's like you saw, like they come on screen, they disappear immediately. Iconic, love that. But you gotta worry about those underlying balloons, because those can be the death of you basically in this. And we're on round 30. Perfect. So finishing round 30, I'm just going to do some super eco boosting, because I always try to keep my super eco boost and do it between 10 round intervals rather than early on in the game, because if you do it very early on, you're not getting a lot of bang for your buck on that eco boost. So I always try to do it later on where the money count can be higher, but obviously it doesn't really start mattering to me at the point of me having more and more eco, because I have been collecting eco throughout the game. So it's just like a nice little extra boost to have, mostly in the beginning on like maybe until round 25. It's a nice boost to have, but after that it's kind of just there. It won't do as much for you as it could have done early game. So I always try to remember that, and then by the time that I have only one boost left, I always forget that I have it, and then I randomly just click it to use it. But now we're actually starting like, this game is on round 30. Maybe we should be filling up our map a little bit more, because it seems that we're playing against someone who knows how to go, well, not late game based on their towers, but at least last a little bit longer in the game. All right, we're getting close to the end of the game. I don't think we make it to round 40, but at least we made it to a decent length, so hopefully this is better for you all than the first round, because as you saw from the first round, it was just quick and easy and done. But basically, right now, this is when I realize I need more of my snipers to be able to hold off, because the red blimps, they take up more time to blow up. That's a weird statement to make. And so I'm trying to get those up, because I know that once we reach round 40, it's going to be end all be all. But looking at their side, they are getting overrun. They are not making it past this round, and it's unfortunate, because they had so many rounds to fix it, and they just couldn't do it. But that's our game. So if you guys like today's video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.